we go. How many people are gonna be popping out now? They're talking about old Drizzy. I don't know. So many going. So much going up. Oh, champagne sloppy. Did you get caught with your head in the cookie jar? As stated on the Patreon, for those who have Carsino for Life Patreon, this was for you. Now, this is one of those times where people see things and it's above me. You know, Drake and his people have been doing a good job trying to keep you guys from seeing stuff and trying to submerge my page down so you don't hear anything. But this is what it is. It's not me. I'm just reporting on it. So, Drake, you could be mad at me all you want. You know, I'm just reporting on it. You know, hell, be mad. But these women actually exist. You know, you were actually with these women. That has nothing to do with me. That's you. That's a you thing. And you are going to have to atone for it. Yeah. That's on you, Drizzy Drake. So while we were giving you guys time to get in here, because they have been trying to sabotage and keep you guys away from all the information that has been provided to you. This is Drake and his team, his social media people. They've been trying to keep everything we're saying away from you. Now, as we get to it, as we always do, you know what time it is. Kick the intro. Hi, I'm Carsino. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carsino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. All right, showtime. Showtime at the Apollo. So allegedly Drake was dating this woman and did her completely wrong. And she decided to go to the radio station to protect herself after Drake allegedly sent her a bunch of text messages threatening her. And she saw what happened to the other girl that he was dating named Johnny Blaze. And what happened when the threats got real with her, because he was allegedly with Rihanna at a time, and Johnny Blaze is somebody he crept off with and thought she was going to go public and tell everybody, hey, I slept with Drake. So he wanted to make sure that didn't happen, allegedly. But this is the story. We're going to hear it. Here we go. You know, straight bullshit. Right? Listen how they treat her.
This is a lady alleging Drake threatened her. Her name is Shay. Hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
So Shay, before we get started, obviously the story's out, the big headlines is that Drake somehow threatened you.
Correct.
Before we get into the details of that, do you know Drake? What's the relationship?
Okay. Well, yeah, before we do get into the details, I really wanted to make sure that people know about me first, because I think the internet has really tried to portray me as something that I am not, which is like a stripper, an Instagram model, know what I'm saying? That's not who I am at all. I'm a student for when I won a scholarship to go to the University of Houston. I do work in my community where I live at now. I'm an editor for a small website.
So you've never stripped or done any of that?
No.
What is the relationship between you and Drake?
Me and him were hanging out. Me and him were dating for a short time.
How did you guys meet?
And I actually met him because a girl showed him my Instagram. So I had a picture with his shirt on it, a picture with his face on a shirt, like a design.
Mm-hmm. I saw it.
And he's seen that, and basically he's seen that on my Instagram, and that's where he found me, and it kind of went from there.
How did this turn into a threatening situation? Because I think everyone has a hard time believing Drake is threatening anybody.
Yeah, people really do have a hard time believing it because he's super soft. But
Damn, you taking shots at our boy?
We're
taking shots. All right, so you guys are hooking up or whatever, and then why'd it go left?
Basically, long story short, he flew this girl out to where he was at, which I don't, people have been saying that I'm mad about it when I'm not mad at all. Like I seen he was hanging out with a girl that I actually knew right after me and him was kind of, falling off. So that's not my issue with him. My issue with him is the respect factor that he exhibits. Like he puts this image out that he's this guy that I respect women and I this and I that, but really you're not. You're disrespectful and you threaten chicks, and that's the real issue here. And that's why our, whatever we had going on really went to the dump because of that. And so basically he was hanging out with this chick. He flied into Toronto. She posted a picture of some Chanel. So I guess he was probably feeling herself. And I posted a picture of the stuff that he bought me on Instagram. And I didn't add him on it. I didn't tag him in it. But
Shay, hey, listen. It sounds like you're jealous. Be honest. But I want to know the evidence that you have that Drake threatened you.
Okay, well, yeah, let's be that straight. I'm not jealous at all. That's not the issue here. But the evidence is basically he texted me some threats because of something I posted on Instagram.
But you responded by posting your own, the stuff he got in you.
I posted it with the caption, like this if you got these two, LMAO. That's all I posted on Instagram. I don't think that warranted him blowing my phone up and basically telling me to run it. He texted me after I posted that, after I didn't answer the phone. He called me like 30 times. And then he texted me saying, you run up the wrong tree, it falls on you. I got you, run up, is what he texted me.
It falls on you. That sounds like a poem. That sounds like a Edgar Allan Poe classic.
Honestly, yeah. Like I said, nobody's scared of Drake. That's not the issue. Where it became an issue is when he had another young lady that he was hanging out with. He had people come to her house.
Drake, Drake is a guy who has a good reputation for being a nice person generally. So when you read headlines that say Drake threatened someone, basically putting out there something that will change his reputation permanently, we kind of expected there to be stronger information than you just presented.
Now, is there anything else besides that text?
The thing that makes this information strong is the fact that he sent someone to another girl's house.
No, I'm talking about in your case. We're not talking about somebody else. I'm talking about you. Did anything else happen to you?
I'm talking about what I'm saying is that's when it became serious for me. Okay, it's a text. That's fine. When it became serious, when somebody else when he had people sent to another young lady's house.
Do you know those people?
I know of her, yes. Do I personally know her? No. I'm not somebody that's going to make some fake allegations against somebody like just because he's a celebrity. Because, I was hanging out with this dude. So at the end of the day, I'm looking bad too, but I just want people to know, and possibly girls that hang out with him in the near future, that there's a possibility that, if you're not abiding by what this guy is saying and you're not, kissing his ass, then all of a sudden he's got a problem with you. I'm not somebody that's going to make some fake allegations against somebody like just because he's a celebrity, because I was hanging out with this dude. So at the end of the day, I'm looking bad too, but I just want people to know, and possibly girls that hang out with him in the near future, that there's a possibility that, if you're not abiding by what this guy is saying and you're not, kissing his ass, then all of a sudden he's got a problem.
We just had a lady alleging that Drake threatened her. It sounded skeptical at best to me.
Of course it's skeptical to you guys because you don't know him, but now I bet you don't think it's skeptical. Now, since Kendrick did all this shit and all this shit and went down, I bet you don't think it's skeptical. But see, this is what these clowns do. They so stuck up Drake's butt. The first thing they could do is, she's lying. This woman must be lying. That woman wasn't lying. She was 100% telling the truth. She went to radio to get it to stop so that Drake would leave her alone because she went to radio. Now, if something happens to her, she's already put it out to the world that Drake has did this. So it was a smart move by her to call the radio station, to put it on record. So if anything happens to this woman, Drake is the first person they're looking at. And then the radio station went to try to paint her as a jealous woman, when she already knew the other woman, she knew that this had happened to. Johnny Blaze, that you see right there on the far left. Guys was sent to her house to bang on her door, threatening to come in the house, to get her to stop her social media rant about Drake and her and Drake and everything else. She was scared. So all y'all who think y'all know Drake, now you know. Well, they didn't want her to start saying, oh, I slept with Drake, I did this with Drake. Drake at that time was, I believe, messing with Rihanna. And did not want any information coming out. Drake didn't want any information leaking out about him messing around with her. He didn't want nobody to know. In vintage Drake fashion, he allegedly decided to handle things his way. Without lawyers, without courts. Drake decided it'd be best if I Drake this thing out with her. Let me go do my Drake and see how I can get this to flow in my direction. Now, this has always hit the mark, but it didn't get amplified until Kendrick Lamar was bringing out these things. And once Kendrick started bringing this out, his mouthpiece, the chipmunk academics, he, kept running off at the mouth trying to hope he could stop something, but he's doing nothing of the sort. And Kendrick has just been making Drake his own dog. And Drake started, I'm going to ban all TDE from coming to Canada crap. It just got worse and worse. Oh, absolutely. Now, after this entanglement with Drake, you know, these things started to amplify more and more because they looked at her as, oh, she's just some thought. She just wants some attention. She wants money from Drake. So women weren't being believed. They were just looked at as greedy. All of these different things, right? That's what the women weren't being believed. Then you have stuff like this, you know. We're not saying Drake did that. We're just saying we don't know. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm just saying, there's all of these random women out here, these random alleged children, random alleged abuse, random alleged assault threats, all of these things that could easily be proven. That's the scary part about it, is that this could actually be proven with the text messages and everything, and these girls have supplied this information. Yeah. So when you start thinking of corruptions and different politics and all these weird games people have been playing, you'll start to understand it better then. Now, when a woman comes out and has to go to the extreme that she had to go through, she didn't expect to be disrespected or dismissed in the way that she was. You know, can you imagine how embarrassing that is for her to have to come forward? How much of an embarrassment that was for her? They never do. They never see it that way. They only see it in their eyes. She had to sit there and be looked at and judged as a woman lying on Drake. Now, why would she want to come forward ever again? After the way they just treated her on that show. Because of their relationship with Drake, they treated her as a piece of meat. I had to go in on them all. It was so bad, I couldn't even put it on YouTube. It's on my Patreon. That's how bad he was. I had to go in on Maul on this right here. Carcino goes in on Maul. His behavior has become so unmanlike. I had to really go in on him to put him back in perspective of who he is in this whole thing. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense for that kind of behavior. Mm-hmm. Weirdo activity. Weird behaviors. You know, it's not like the world don't see it. It's just that it's so much going on that it's just got more crazy by the day. Every day there's a brand new Drake story. He's involved in some kind of activity. He did some type of weird activity. I already know he's listening to us. His crew gonna keep bringing it up to him. But why would they ignore all of those different things about Drizzy Drake and not listen to these women when the other women you can't listen to because they're dead? These 5 women are all dead. And just strangely, they just all knew Drake. Drake dedicated certified lover boy to 2 of them. The other 3, no. One girl, somebody decided to wait in her house and take her life, and then he takes his life, right? One girl dies in a motorcycle accident in Dubai when she don't ride a motorcycle. One girl was found on the road of Houston on the side of the road. So, yeah, the other ones are very strange also. And all of them seem to have had some type of contact with Drake. Drake had just flown one of them out from his house. So why are there no questions? Like 3 of these girls happen to just be from Houston. Didn't he just move there? I'm just saying it's a lot of weird activity transpiring here. You want all this in full detail, you got to go to the Patreon. That's on the Patreon. We got this stuff in full detail. He's like, that's Patreon level material. It's on there. All right, so this is what we're talking about. Why wouldn't they listen to that woman who was explaining herself as clear and concise as possible about what was going on in her life? Some people are just love wasting time. Oh, it's a lot more. Oh, definitely. It's always going to be more to come because people like this, their activities is, they're so scrupulous. It's never going to go away. Listen to the way they talk to her. The radio does. See, they under
Because of that.
This turn into a threatening situation because I think everyone has a hard time believing Drake is threatening anybody.
Yeah.
See,
Me and we're dating
they already
for a short
dismissed
that now. I'm gonna portray me as something that I am not.
So Shay, before we get started, obviously the story's out, the big headlines is that Drake somehow threatened you. Correct. Before we get into the details of that, how do you know Drake? What's the relationship?
Okay. Well, yeah, before we do get into the details, I really wanted to make sure that people know about me first, because I think the internet has really tried to portray me as something that I am not, which is like a stripper, an Instagram model. You know what I'm saying? That's not who I am at all. I'm a student for when I won a scholarship to go to the University of Houston. I do work in my community where I live at now. I'm an editor for a small website.
So you've never stripped or done any of that?
No.
What is the relationship between you and Drake?
Me and him were hanging out. Me and him were dating for a short time.
How did you guys meet?
And I actually met him because a girl showed him my Instagram. So I had a picture with his shirt on it, a picture with his face on a shirt, like a design.
Mm-hmm. I saw it.
And he's seen that, and basically he's seen that on my Instagram, and that's where he found me, and it kind of went from there.
How did this turn into a threatening situation? Because I think everyone has a hard time believing Drake is threatening anybody.
Yeah, people really do have a hard time believing it because he's super soft. But
Damn, you taking shots at our boy? We're taking shots.
All right, so you guys are hooking up or whatever, and then why'd it go left?
Basically, long story short, he flew this girl out to where he was at, which I don't, people have been saying that I'm mad about it when I'm not mad at all. Like I seen he was hanging out with a girl that I actually knew right after me and him was kind of, falling off. So that's not my issue with him. My issue with him is the respect factor that he exhibits. Like he puts this image out that he's this guy that I respect women and I this and I that, but really you're not. You're disrespectful and you threaten chicks, and that's the real issue here. And that's why our, whatever we had going on really went to the dump because of that. And so basically he was hanging out with this chick. He flied into Toronto. She posted a picture of some Chanel. So I guess she was probably feeling herself. And I posted a picture of the stuff that he bought me on Instagram. And I didn't add him on it. I didn't tag him in it. But
Shay. Hey, listen, it sounds like you're jealous, be honest, but I want to know the evidence that you have that Drake threatened you.
Okay, well, yeah, let's get that straight. I'm not jealous at all. That's not the issue here. But the evidence is basically he texted me some threats because of something I posted on Instagram.
You responded by posting your own, the stuff he got in you.
I posted it with the caption, like this if you got these two, LMAO. That's all I posted on Instagram. I don't think that warranted him blowing my phone up and basically telling me to run it. He texted me after.
Now, there could be phone records if they really wanted, she wanted to pursue this. There could be phone records galore behind all of this. This is why I tell people, be careful, especially in modern day times, getting emotional, calling a chick's phone. They could pull up the phone records. They could pull up the text messages. But Drake don't threaten like regular people. He sends all these cryptic rap lyrics. The same way he diss people, the same way he does these threats.
I posted that after I didn't answer the phone. He called me like 30 times. And then he texted me saying, you run up the wrong tree, it falls on you. I got you, run up, is what he texted me.
It falls on you. That sounds like a poem. That sounds like a Edgar Allan Poe classic.
Honestly, yeah. Like I said, nobody's scared of Drake. That's not the issue. Where it became an issue is when he had another young lady that he was hanging out with. He had people come to her house.
Drake, Drake is a guy who has a good reputation for being a nice person generally. So when you read headlines that say Drake threatened someone, basically putting out there something that will change his reputation permanently, we kind of expected there to be stronger information than you just presented.
Now, is there anything else besides that text?
The thing that makes this information strong is the fact that he sent someone to another girl's house.
No, I'm talking about in your case. We're not talking about somebody else. I'm talking about you. Did anything else happen to you?
We're talking about what I'm saying is that's when it became serious for me. Okay, it's a text. That's fine. When it became serious, when somebody else when he had people sent to another young lady's house.
Do you know those people?
I know of her, yes. Do I personally know her? No. I'm not somebody that's going to make some fake allegations against somebody like just because he's a celebrity. Because, I was hanging out with this dude. So at the end of the day, I'm looking bad too, but I just want people to know, and possibly girls that hang out with him in the near future, that there's a possibility that, if you're not abiding by what this guy is saying and you're not, kissing his ass, then all of a sudden he's got a problem with you. I'm not somebody that's going to make some fake allegations against somebody like just because he's a celebrity, because I was hanging out with this dude. So at the end of the day, I'm looking bad too, but I just want people to know, and possibly girls that hang out with him in the near future, that there's a possibility that, if you're not abiding by what this guy is saying and you're not.
Wow. You believe this? Now, wow, how dismissive were they against her? Even the woman who was on the show seemed to have no sympathy for that young lady who came forth, and they wonder why women don't come forward. Because they are looked at immediately as liars and gold diggers. When she didn't ask for any money, she didn't ask that Drake go to jail. She just wanted it to stop. She wanted to be left alone. She went to the radio station for her own protection, so that the harassment would stop. And she had to get ridiculed live on air. That's why I don't understand these people, man. It's like, what did you go on the air for? I mean, what did you let her up on the air for then? So you can run back to Drake and say, look, we defended you. Can we get an interview now? She provided the text messages. Everything that she was saying that Drake did it, she provided the text messages. She wasn't some groupie or stripper that they tried to make her out to be. She was somebody who was actually dating Drake. And they just said, oh, you jealous, he cut you off. Social media attacked her, calling her mid and all this other crap that y'all do. Oh, you mid anyway. You should be glad Drake was with you. And so once again, they're telling women they should deal with a guy who mistreats them, rude, and obnoxious. That's just part of the game, as one guy said. Man, that's part of the game. What's she tripping for? She signed up for this. You knew what you signed up for. You a stripper. She never stripped. Then they want to shame her with her posing on her IG. Like, oh, look at you. You showing your body. Doesn't mean she's a stripper. Just because she posing like some nice negligee and all that doesn't make her a stripper. She didn't go to the police. She just wants Drake to stop. That was her whole thing. Is I want you to stop. I'm not trying to run to the cops. I'm not trying to put you in jail. I really want you to leave me alone. That's her thing. That's what a lady does when she doesn't want anything to do with you. She's not looking for attention. She wasn't looking for money. This is when you really pay attention, when they're not looking for anything in return. They don't want money. They don't want attention from it. They are trying to get you to stop doing something before it becomes something else. Now, I just showed you 5 girls who are dead, who were allegedly around Drake and had a connection with Drake. 5 of these girls are dead. And you think it was stupid of her to go to the radio station? She was protecting her life. Just by coincidence, 5 girls that happened to just know Drake or been around Drake, or he didn't mess with, I don't know if he messed with all 5, but at least 2 or 3, I know he's definitely had something to do with, flew one of them out, met another one in another country. He made a song about 2 of them. 5 are dead. 1 is getting threatened, and this one decides, I better go to the radio station and put this out public, so if something happens to me, they'll know who's responsible. She did that to protect herself. And y'all sitting here blaming her. Let's see if old Academy talk about this. Tell him to get off Fortnite and go live and talk about this. Why won't he talk about that? Oh, the plot thickens a lot more, especially on the Patreon. The Casino for Life Patreon is on fire. Part 3 is coming today, y'all. For all my Patreons that's in here and that's listening, y'all know about all this already. But part 3, the rest of y'all, the rest of the world, y'all just found out. My Patreons already knew about this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to get real interesting now because it's heating up. The cops going to say this ain't enough. Text messages, that ain't enough. Him threatening another woman, that ain't enough. They got to wait till something actually happened to you. I just want to see what happens when everything starts to come out. That's when it's going to get real. Mm-hmm. When that other shoe drops. Like here on the Patreon. Have you ever played Have I Ever? Oh, yeah. Homie, let's play. There you go. I have. Well, I have. And I know you came up straight. Yep, he played. And there it is, $350K settlement. Right there by Drake in an assault case. Yeah, sloppy. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to just make this clear because, you know, I have been asked that before.
His legal team out on her. And I think it had been reported that he was actually suing her, accused Drake of sexual assault, and was privately paid a settlement of $350,000, bruh. She was paid $350,000. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Wanted to make it look like in the paper that she was a liar. Now, she claimed to be pregnant. We still don't know.
Drake was investigated by authorities in the UK based on Morris's complaint. The rapper was eventually cleared of any criminal wrong.
So that's how it works. Dollars out of this. Out of the 125, you can't rely on them. Too late. We already know what you did. And he was Dirk Diggler. Now, what was really the lawsuit about? What was really the devil in the details? What was Drake really upset about? What he didn't want this woman to talk about that he ended up getting NDAs on and stuff. Oh, there it is. So if you're on the Patreon, you can go see this. But she brought all the attention as to why this was going on, the actual text messages between the two. So she was showing proof that she wasn't lying. As all of this stuff was going on. Then we get to this. And I'll take myself down so that you can see what she actually said. Now, she stated, I'm also let me make this very clear. I never checked for this little 2-inch dirty DA Negro. His lying ass sent for me. Never did I throw myself at him. Never was a groupie. Never did I ask for any of this. No, we didn't meet at no video shoot, studio, or concert, or no club. This man made it his business to ask me to meet me off seeing a picture of me. Showed to him by his mans. She never even asked to meet Drake. Now, this is why Drake didn't want anybody talking about his encounters, because she put that line in there saying his 2-inch dirty D. Now, Drake allegedly started to leak out these photos of himself, playing with himself or whatever, stroking himself back and forth, laying in the bed, and everybody's, oh, Drake, and people sending me this damn clip. And I'm like, man, I open this up, like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to see that. But in Hollywood, as I told you, this is what they do. They go ahead and they make changes. This is why he settled this lawsuit with her. What they do in Hollywood is very clear. They stage these things where and that's not even his meat. What they do is put on a prosthetic like they did with Mark Wahlberg and Dirk Diggler, like they did with John Cena and Trainwreck, like they did with Justin Bieber on the balcony when he had the leaked photo of him being nude on the balcony. They put on a prosthetic. That's fake. It's a fake rubber thing that they put on. So they put that on to try to save their ego, their image, everything. This is why he got all these NDAs. This is why these women don't want to stay with him, and they get the hell away from him. And have you noticed all the women he deal with, they leave him and they never come back? And when she started to talk about his business, his personal business, then that's when everything went left. It went bad for him. Of course. It's all about ego. Nicki Minaj made a mistake one time. Her and Justin Bieber did a song. They were promoting it, doing an interview. And she was like, talking about her butt and all that. I don't think Justin could get past all that. I don't think he's big enough to get past all that. I think he's talking about because he's so little, like he was only like 90 some pounds. So that's what she was meaning. They were thinking like, oh, she made it like he couldn't get past all of that. He couldn't handle all that stuff that she got because he's just like, he's little Justin, so it was embarrassing for him that everybody was going around thinking he was Tiny Tim, so they had to fake a scene with him and his girlfriend on a balcony. And there's a leaked photo of Justin outside with his private parts. And that wasn't him. It was a prosthetic. And to make him feel like the ego was up there. And they've done this for countless people in Hollywood. Dirt drizzle, right? Exactly. So it's all an act to try to keep his image. But this woman was leaking out all of the truths about him. And all of a sudden, he settled the lawsuit. Why would you pay that woman $350,000? Just because you felt generous? It's God's plan. No, I thought it was nice for what? So like I said, if you're on the Patreon, all of that stuff is there. You go to the Casino for Life Patreon, that's what you get. Now, part 3 of pulling back the layers on Drake is coming out. The first 2 parts are out. Part 3 is airing today. That's right. I know you're excited. Pulling back the layers on Drake, part 1. We go all the way back to your great-great-grandfather on your other family side, meaning your mother family side, the side of the family that you really connected to. We pulled back all your layers on your family's history. What they used to do, what they went through, the whole 9. Your cousins, your family in South Africa, all of it. All before you were even thought of. We went back to the source. I told you, Drake, I know stuff about you you don't even know. Stuff you doing now, your family was doing back then. And everybody's been glued in on the Patreon. So the first 2 parts are out already. Part 3 is going to be even more. Yeah, he's related to Adrian Brody. They're cousins through a marriage. The Brody family, that photo you seeing right there is the marriage between the Brodys and the Brodys and the Shearer family. You like it when I get aggressive, Drizzy. Once Drake decided he wanted to get on my bad side, I said, okay, let's go. Sandra D said, I got proof Drake has known Snow for years. I believe he do. I mean, she's put out videos, I believe, saying that Drake actually bought the equipment that she's using. So we already had proof he was on the Monkey app, that he knew where he was at. He knows what she do. He was on the third wheel. Like, I'm here for the show. Bring him out, bring him out, bring him out, bring him out. Yeah, we got a chat. We got a chat in the Patreon. We got our own chat room. So that's how people keep up with me, through the chat. I'm not in any other chat but the Patreon chat, which is called the community. That's the only one I'm in. Oh, right here. Carcino for Life chat. Let's get it. Who in here talking? Damon? Ooh. Uh-oh. Tyler is reportedly featured on Kendrick's upcoming album. Okay. Uh-oh. They going to Houston, Texas today. And he's like, I hope we see K-Dot on one of them shows when they come to LA. Probably. If they come to LA, we'll probably see that. They hoping that. But they coming to Houston today. Dang, see, I wish you could see this. In case I missed it. She was going in on 50 and Diddy. I've seen enough of Jag for a lifetime. I've seen enough of Jaguar Wright for a lifetime. Bro, where's the killing of Michael Jackson Part 7? Hold on. That is this week. So as you can see, our chat room is that's where they get to contact me at on the Patreon. You got our own very own live chat in the community. So everybody can see what time it is. He used her on his song, Do Not Disturb. Yeah, she looks like Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes, who really took Drake to school. Oh yeah. Well, what they were trying to do was run a play. Is that Amanda Bynes? It's funny because Amanda Bynes, she was supposed to be running a play with Drake, like, oh, I love Drake, I want him to do this, and then they were trying to use that to boost themselves up, right? And play off each other and all of this stuff. And I guess like he didn't respond back to the thing that they were supposed to be doing. And she went on a tirade, and I'm quite sure y'all seen it when she called Drake ugly. She called him gay. She called him everything in the book. And we have that video right here on this very channel. So Drake don't like me too much no more. I told him, I told Drake and his team when this whole thing was starting, I said, if you keep messing with me, you're gonna have a reason not to like me. You didn't have a reason before. This keeps going. You're gonna have a reason not to like me. So the more they keep going, the more I keep going. Mika, those girls had put out a video of themselves leaving Drake's New Year's party. And they were carding people and making sure they were of age to be in there. They thought this was helping Drake. She said, I saw that video. Don't y'all realize I get sent almost everything. I don't have to search for stuff for Drake, really. I don't have to really make it my day to go look for Drake stuff. As you can see, I get sent everything. Stuff gets sent to me. Other people be doing the research. And like, if I want to expand on it, I'll do it. The only thing I've really done myself is this deep dive on Drake's whole family on the Patreon. That's me. That's 100% me doing a deep dive through his whole family, going back to his great-great-grandfather. We pulling all these layers back. We ain't peeling it, we pulling it. Like we yanking them sheets off you while you balled up under the bed. Balled up in the bed. No, you got to get up. So all we doing is shedding the light. We're not making stuff up about this guy. Everything we've discussed today has actually happened to Drake or happened around Drake or been reported about Drake. We haven't done anything. It's had nothing to do with us. Now, I can't wait to see y'all on the Patreon because we finna get to work. All right. So shouts out to Mondo Black TV. Shouts out to Ticket TV, Kwame Brown Bus Life. Welcome to HDI TV. Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez, and I'm out the door. Thank y'all for the super chat too, to the Cash App. Thank all of you guys. Appreciate y'all. I'm out.